Hey, welcome to Dreamland Tales. Today, we will embark on a magical journey together, exploring stories that are full of fantasy and wonder. Whether it's a brave little hero or a clever little animal, each story holds wisdom and warmth. Are you ready? Let's open the door to our imagination and enter this world of color and laughter. In the ancient and mysterious East, there is a bustling city filled with lively bazaars, magnificent palaces, and people of all shapes and sizes. In a corner of the city lived a little boy named Aladdin. He lived with his mother and was very poor. Aladdin was a clever but somewhat mischievous child. He had no father, and his mother made ends meet by weaving day and night, while Aladdin played in the streets and made friends with others who were also poor. Despite the hardships of life, Aladdin had a kind heart. He was always willing to share the little food he had with his friends, and often helped his neighbors to do what they could. One day, a mysterious magician came to the city from far away. He poked around the city and seemed to be looking for something. When he learned about Aladdin, he had a plan in mind. The wizard found Aladdin and, disguising himself as a kindly man, he said to Aladdin, "My son, I am a distant relative of yours, and I have heard that you and your mother are having a hard time in life, and that I can help to change your fortunes." Aladdin was a little skeptical at first, but the wizard took out some gold coins, handed them to him, and said, "Take these and go buy your mother something good to eat." Aladdin saw the gold coins, and his heart rejoiced so much that he thanked the wizard and then ran home to give them to his mother. His mother was surprised and happy to see so many gold coins, but she was also a little worried and asked Aladdin where he got them from. Aladdin told his mother about his encounter with the wizard, and she felt vaguely uneasy in her heart, but seeing her son so happy, she could not say anything. After a few days, the wizard found Aladdin again, and he said to Aladdin, "My son, I know a place where there are countless treasures, and as long as we can find it, you and your mother can live a rich life. However, this place is somewhat dangerous and requires you to go with me." When Aladdin heard this, there was some hesitation in his heart, but when he thought that he could make a good life for his mother, he gathered his courage and agreed to the wizard. The wizard took Aladdin out of the city, and they walked for a long time to a mountain range in the middle of nowhere. There was a huge cave in the mountain range, and the cave was partially blocked by a huge rock. The wizard walked up to the stone and mouthed the words, then with a flick of his wand in his hand, the stone slowly moved away, revealing a dark cave entrance. The magician said to Aladdin, "My son, there is a lamp in this cave. Go in and bring it out. I will wait for you here. Remember, don't touch anything else or you will be in danger." Aladdin nodded and carefully entered the cave. The cave had a mysterious aura about it, and the walls were encrusted with all sorts of gems that shimmered charmingly in the faint light that shone through them. Aladdin had never seen so many gems before, and he was amazed, but he remembered the words of the wizard and did not touch the gems. He continued deeper into the cave and finally found the lamp. The lamp looked a little worn and covered with dust, but Aladdin could feel that it had a special power. He picked up the lamp and turned around, ready to leave the cave. Just then, he saw that there were some beautiful jewels in the cave, and he thought to himself, "There are so many jewels, take some of them back to your mother so she won't have to work so hard." So he couldn't resist taking some of the jewelry and putting it in his pocket. When he got to the mouth of the cave, the wizard was getting a little tired of waiting. He was overjoyed to see the lamp in Aladdin's hand, but when he saw that Aladdin's pockets were bulging, his face changed. He shouted, "You greedy boy, didn't I tell you not to touch anything else?" Aladdin was taken aback by the wizard's roar, and he said with some fear, "I just wanted to take some for my mother." The wizard wouldn't listen to his explanation. He waved his wand angrily and mouthed an evil spell. Suddenly, the cave began to shake violently and boulders began to move towards the entrance, trying to seal it off. Aladdin watched this in horror and knew that he had been tricked by the wizard. The wizard didn't want to share the treasure with him. He just wanted to use him to get the lamp. Now the wizard wanted to trap him in the cave and leave him to die. Aladdin desperately ran towards the entrance of the cave, and he finally got out just as the boulder was about to completely seal it. The wizard saw that Aladdin had escaped and became even more enraged. He rushed up and tried to snatch the lamp from Aladdin's hand, but Aladdin held the lamp tightly and refused to let go. The two started a fierce struggle at the entrance of the cave. During the struggle, Aladdin accidentally grazed the lamp, and suddenly a powerful smoke came out of the lamp. A huge genie appeared in the smoke, and the genie's voice was as loud as thunder. "Master, what are your orders?" Both Aladdin and the wizard were stunned by the sight before them. The wizard quickly reacted and tried to order the genie to take the lamp away from him, but the genie looked at him and said, "You are not my master, only the one who owns the lamp is my master." Aladdin realized that this genie could help him, and he gathered his courage and said to the genie, "Genie, get rid of this evil wizard and protect me and my mother." The genie nodded, and with a wave of his arm, the wizard was swept away in a powerful burst of force and disappeared without a trace. Aladdin breathed a sigh of relief, and he returned home with the lamp. He told his mother about the lamp, and she was a little disbelieving at first, but when she saw the genie that appeared in the lamp, she knew that her son was telling the truth. Aladdin and his mother talked it over and decided to use the power of the lamp to improve their lives. They first had the genie build them a beautiful house with gorgeous furniture, soft beds, and plenty of food. Then Aladdin used the genie's power to help many of his poor neighbors by building them houses, providing them with food and clothes, and giving them a better life. Aladdin's kindness and generosity won him the respect and love of his neighbors, and he gradually became famous in the city. As time went on, Aladdin grew into a man. He became more handsome, intelligent, and kind. By chance, he met a beautiful princess in the marketplace. The princess was as beautiful as the sun, and her smile was as bright as a flower. Aladdin fell in love with the princess at first sight, and he decided to take her as his wife. Aladdin returned home and told his mother about his love for the princess. When his mother heard this, she was a little worried and said, "My son, the princess is the king's daughter. How can we possibly reach her?" Aladdin, however, said with confidence, "Mother, we have the divine lamp, and the genie can help us." The mother thought about it and thought her son had a point. So Aladdin had the genie prepare many precious gifts for him and then took them to the king's palace. He asked the king to be able to take the princess as his wife. The king was very surprised to see the precious gifts Aladdin had brought, but he was also a little hesitant. After all, he didn't know where Aladdin had come from. The king said to Aladdin, "Young man, you want to marry my daughter. This is not a small thing. I need to think about it, so go home first." Aladdin returned home somewhat disappointed, but he did not give up. He knew that as long as the lamp was there, he had a chance. After a few days, the king held a big banquet and invited all the nobles and celebrities in the city. Aladdin also received an invitation, and after dressing up carefully, he brought the lamp to the banquet. At the banquet, Aladdin saw the princess again. The princess was even more beautiful in her gorgeous gown. Aladdin went up to the princess and talked to her. The princess found Aladdin to be a smart, funny man and had a little crush on him. Just then, the king came over, and he was a little upset when he saw Aladdin chatting happily with the princess. He said to Aladdin, "Young man, you don't have my permission yet to get too close to my daughter." Aladdin made a bow to the king and then said, "Your Majesty, I am true to the princess. I hope you will give me a chance to prove myself." The king thought for a moment and said, "Okay, I'll give you a challenge. If you can build a palace for the princess within a month that is even more magnificent than my palace, I will agree to let you take the princess as your wife." Aladdin accepted the king's challenge, and when he returned home, he immediately told the genie to start building the palace. The genie waved his arms and mouthed the words, and a magnificent palace rose up at the edge of the city. The walls of the palace were made of pure gold and inlaid with countless gems that shone brightly in the sunlight. The palace had beautiful gardens, gorgeous halls, and cozy rooms, and every corner was filled with luxury. A month later, Aladdin brought the king and the princess to the new palace. The king was shocked to see the palace, which was even more magnificent than his own palace. He had to recognize Aladdin's ability, so he agreed to the marriage of Aladdin and the princess. Aladdin and the princess had a grand wedding, and the whole city was immersed in a joyful atmosphere. After the wedding, Aladdin and the princess lived a happy life. They often took walks together in the palace, enjoyed flowers in the garden, and lived a sweet and beautiful life. However, the happy life did not last forever. The magician who was driven away by the genie did not give up his desire for the lamp. He was always looking for an opportunity to take back the lamp and take revenge on Aladdin. One day, when Aladdin was out hunting, the magician disguised himself as a merchant and came to the palace. He brought some beautiful jewels and said to the princess, "Dear princess, I am a merchant from a faraway land, and I have brought some rare jewels that I would like to offer to you." The princess saw those beautiful jewels, and her heart rejoiced a little, and she invited the wizard to enter the palace. When the wizard entered the palace, he looked around and found the divine lamp sitting in one of the halls of the palace. His heart rejoiced, and he knew that the opportunity had come. He said to the princess, "Dear princess, I have an even more magical lamp here, which can fulfill any wish you have. If you wish, I can exchange this lamp with you for the old lamp in your palace." The princess didn't know the secret of the divine lamp, and she didn't think there was anything wrong with exchanging an old lamp for a magical one, so she agreed to the magician's exchange. Immediately after the magician got the lamp, he rubbed it and the genie appeared. The magician said to the genie, "Genie, move this palace and the princess to a distant desert so that Aladdin will never find them again." The genie reluctantly carried out the wizard's orders, and the palace and the princess disappeared in an instant, leaving only a clearing. When Aladdin returned from his hunting trip, he realized that the palace was gone, and so was the princess. He was very anxious, and he knew that the wizard must have done it. He looked around for clues and finally learned from one of the servants that the magician had come to the palace disguised as a merchant. Aladdin was very sorry that he had not hidden the lamp well and put the princess in danger. He decided to find the princess and the lamp, so he set out on a journey to find them. He traveled for a long time through deserts, mountains, and forests, encountering many difficulties and dangers along the way, but he never gave up. Finally, he found the palace that had been moved here in a distant desert. The palace was surrounded by many of the wizard's men guarding it, and Aladdin knew he couldn't go in hard. He needed to think of a way. After observing his surroundings, he saw an opportunity to sneak into the palace. One night, he quietly bypassed the guards and sneaked into the palace. He searched the palace for the princess and the lamp and finally found the imprisoned princess in a room. When the princess saw Aladdin, she hugged him excitedly and the two embraced. Aladdin is ready to leave the palace with the princess, but they still need to find the lamp. They continued their search in the palace and finally found the wizard. The wizard was very surprised to see Aladdin. He didn't expect Aladdin to find this place. He picked up the lamp and said to the genie, "Genie, finish this guy off." But the genie did not obey the wizard's order, and he said to the wizard, "You got the lamp by deception, and you are not the true master. Only Aladdin is my master." The wizard was so angry when he heard this that he prepared to fight Aladdin himself. Aladdin and the wizard had a fierce battle. Aladdin was brave, but the wizard had powerful magic, and he was getting a little outmatched. Just then, the princess picked up a vase and smashed it from behind on the wizard, who was knocked unconscious. Aladdin took the opportunity to retrieve the lamp. He rubbed it and said to the genie, "Genie, send us back to our city and let this evil wizard stay here forever." The genie nodded. He waved his arm, and Aladdin, the princess, and the palace were instantly back in the city. From then on, Aladdin cherished his life with the princess even more. He hid the lamp in a safer place and never let it fall into the wrong hands again. He and the princess continued to live a happy life, and they used their wealth and power to help more people, filling the whole city with love and warmth. The evil magician, on the other hand, was left in the desert forever, never having the chance to come out and do evil again. In the days to come, the story of Aladdin and the princess spread through the city and became a legend in the mouths of the people. The children listened to the story with longing and yearning in their eyes, wishing that they too could be like Aladdin, with a kind heart, a brave spirit, and magical opportunities to create their own bright future. Thank you, children, for spending this wonderful time with us. I hope these stories will plant seeds of joy and friendship in your hearts. Remember, no matter what difficulties you encounter in life, with courage and love, you will surely find a solution. I look forward to sharing more wonderful stories with you next time. Goodbye, dear friends, and may your dreams be filled with marvelous adventures as well.